What's up, family? This is your host, Aaron here. This is Times with the Narcissist Explained. Uh, this afternoon, it's not nighttime yet. This afternoon, I just want to talk about an important topic. I want to talk about living in a jealous household, right? Those of you who hasn't gotten off work or probably gonna catch this live till later. When you do watch it, I hope it helps because believe it or not, there are people right now who their biggest obstacle is their family, right? Their biggest obstacle in life, especially if you're a chosen one, is your family. And when you're growing up in a jealous household, right, they never want to see you do better than them. And they're going to make sure that they're going to place so much responsibility on you, so much pressure on you, that you're not going to have the energy to really focus on yourself. There's a lot of people right now that are coming out of high school, coming out of college, that their family members are trying to pressure them to stick around and take care of this, take care of that. You know, mama needs this, mama needs that. Now don't get me wrong. If your parents are in need and you're the only one at the time that can really look after them, you have to find ways to look after them, but also not neglecting yourself in the process. You know, so but mainly a lot of times they set up these traps for you to where when you are and this is why I always say don't try to tell family your plans and oh, when I get out of school or when I get out of college I'm gonna go work here, because they're already devising up some plan to try to slow you down, or they're gonna come up with something, man. I'm telling you. You know, the kind of family that I've had to deal with, they tell me they don't want me around, but yet anytime I left, they want to blow up my phone. They want to hawk me down. They want to recruit other people to try to hawk me down. Well, but when I'm around, you don't want me around, right? And so it's insane how there's so many people right now who are going through similar situations where they had the opportunity to really blossom, but because their family is so hateful and jealous and so low vibrational and so toxic, right? So hateful, so jealous, so low vibrational, so toxic that they'll resort to many things just to not see you progress in life, right? Because they really don't want to see you successful. They really don't want to see you um, rising up and doing things independently. Because when you're independent, you don't have to answer to anybody. You don't have to tell anybody where you're going. You don't have to worry about anybody breathing down your neck about when you're gonna come home and all this crazy stuff, right? And they don't like that. You know, it's a shame, but truth be told, when you are a chosen one and you're born into this life, you're gonna live a life mostly confused because you're gonna wonder why people treat you like this. Why do people disrespect you but act like they don't want to let you go? And that's because you carry a certain kind of energy. You carry a certain kind of potential that your siblings don't really have, other people that they know don't really have, right? So they're going to spend most of their life tethering themselves to your energy. They're going to try to stay connected to you through toxicity. And it's tough, man. It is a tough ordeal. It is a very tough ordeal dealing with that kind of opposition, because family can be or will be your biggest opposition as a chosen one. It's just the honest truth, you know? And when you come out of this spell of, I gotta be there because that's my family no matter what. When you come out of that spell and you realize how you have to live for you and you have to protect your well-being, then you realize that This whole time you were sacrificing because you were sacrificing based on a toxic belief system. Now, for those of you who feel like it's too late, like, damn, years went by and I still got caught up with my family and they did this to me, this is that. It's not too late. Right now, as we speak, you can still do whatever you want to do right now. But you got to have a plan. Some people like to express themselves and tell people this and tell people that. When you are in a toxic household, you have to move silently. You have to learn how to gray rock. You have to learn to walk away. You have to study the people around you. Because a lot of times, the reason why they be feeding on your energy and you be so drained because you too quick to go back and forth with they ass. Don't go back and forth with these motherfuckers, man. Don't do that. You're wasting your breath. They chose a side, you know, you're not going to change anything. Now, if they get physical with you, do what you have to do to get them off of you. Because Dick Gregory once said, you know, what did he say? A mad dog, you're going to have to kill it. A mad dog, you're going to have to kill it. You don't have to necessarily kill it. But if you know that that's a mad dog, you know, you have to get away from them mad dogs. They are wild. They are undisciplined. They are jealous. They are evil. Okay? When you are living in a toxic household, you have to be smart. You have to be strategic. You can't get too emotional when, you know, because let me tell you something. Especially if you do the salt and vinegar rinse, you're going to see your family members who've been coming against you all these years, you're going to see a lot of like crazy stuff happen to them. You're going to see their health deteriorate. And you have to be so level-headed and not so emotional to the point you got to understand this is something that they had coming. Okay? Because karma will happen for those who've been trying to be tethered to your energy and argue with you and be all manipulative and try to slow you down so they don't want to see your potential blossom. Right? There's people right now that are like 40, 50 years old still living in a toxic household. Why? Because they just don't know how to let go. And I'm not saying that letting go is easy. Please, I'm not trying to be forceful and trying to force people to let go. Because sometimes letting go can be gradual. It can be slow. It's like sometimes you need more evidence before you actually let go. But some people right now, they've been in that toxic household for years. They've had so much evidence of the people around them and how they truly feel about you and how behind your back they're having secret meetings on how they are going to try to slow you down and mess you up in some kind of way. Man, I'm telling you, the toxic household I grew up in, there's times where I woke up after I told them I had like some sort of promotion at a job or I got hired at a job. The next morning, I back out into the parking lot. There was a nail in my tire. Like somebody put a nail there. So as soon as I back out, it'll puncture my tire. Right? And I'm willing to bet it was family who did it. Because I don't go outside and tell people my business like that. But when I did at the time, that's when that happened. These people don't want to see you happy, y'all. They don't want to see you blossom. They just don't want to see you with your independence. And what you have to learn to do is not be so caught up in the emotional factor like, yeah, that's my mom, that's my dad, that's my brother, you know, we fight, you know, we fight and fuss, but you know, that's still my blood. You know, you have to get past that level of understanding because that stuff was taught to you to try to hold you back. Because a lot of times family members can be your biggest anchor weights or biggest ball and chains on your ankle. You know, you have to have a plan, figure out what it is that you want to do. Don't be so gossipy and be so clear, you know, because sometimes they try to act nice to you despite all the toxic stuff they did just to get all in your business. And you don't have to go back and forth and argue with them. Learn how to walk away because a lot of times this is how they feed on your energy when you argue with them, when they be nitpicky. You just walk away from them. You don't have to answer them. And if they want to be like, you know what, I'm kicking you out, so be it, man. Because I'm telling you, man, it's one of the toughest things to deal with when you grow up in a toxic household. You're already fighting generational curses, right? You're already going through different ego deaths and things like that. A lot of times you don't have the right support system growing up, so you have to learn things the hard way. But let me tell you something about those who learn things the hard way. Those who actually learn from their lessons, especially if it was the hard way, are some of the most wisest people you'll ever come across, right? Because they learned, they applied what they learned to their very being, and they use it to refine themselves. You know, my description on my channel says change is required to evolve. You know, life is constantly changing, things are constantly changing, and we have to change with the lessons that we learn. And that's the problem with family members. That's the problem with, people that are fake, because they don't learn from certain lessons that the universe places on their path. I'm not saying these things are easy. I understand these things are not easy, y'all. But that's the problem with a lot of people today. They too busy living in their ego. That's all I can say about that. Let me read the comments. Baby, good to see you. It's true. You'll wake up from that spell once you need something. And those you helped won't even help you. Yes. Yes. Because, and you know they can help. Right. Because once you realize what kind of people you are dealing with, you're going to go through so many different signs in front of you. And it's going to hurt some people, because they're going to be like, man, I can't believe this. But there's so many signs that we've seen throughout the years on why we should get away from toxicity, but it just didn't register. It just didn't process. We didn't understand the importance of not living in a toxic household. So some people right now are caught up. Some people are like 40, 50 years old, still living in a toxic household, and not knowing that they have to detox themselves. They have to find their own way. They have to be self-sufficient away from them. Right? Magenta, good to see you. Amen. Magenta says, I need to hear this so bad. Right. I know how emotional chosen ones can get when it comes down to their family, man. It's like, man, they my family though, you know what I'm saying? But look at how they treating you. You put something in the fridge, they'll eat it. That's if it was like some leftover stuff. You leave anything outside of your space, they'll take it and move it somewhere or throw it away. You're like, what happened to my flip-flops? What happened to my t-shirt? Growing up in a toxic household, I can't tell you how many t-shirts and hats I lost that I can't find. Half of the stuff I can't even remember that I had. Shoes, old shoes that I had that I didn't say I can give away, but somebody gave them away without my permission. You know what I'm saying? These are kind of things you have to deal with. Let me see. Because they don't see you as blood or family. They only view people who are like them as family. You know what, baby? What's crazy is that when it comes down to society, when it comes down to most people in this world, they click up with each other in evil. They don't click up with each other most times when it comes down to something good or positive. They're quick to click up on somebody when it comes down to, oh, this person think they better, oh yeah, this person do think they better, they'll click up when it comes to stuff like that, right? They'll click up. There's a girl that I seen recently on social media. She had acid thrown on her. She has like a big scar right here. That hurt my heart to see that, man, because it was her own sister that did that to her. And she went on, I think she went on live, and and people was laughing at her on live, and that was not funny. Like, your own sister threw acid on you. You're not gonna be the same after that. Thankfully, the sister's in jail, you know. But acid, somebody you grew up with, all because they got into an argument about how her sister was a drug addict. At least that's what I read. I don't know if that's true. I'm sure other things transpired, but that broke my heart, man. You know, your own sister throwing acid on you. And the crazy part is, there's other people around the world that has been through acid attacks in different parts of the country, but for that to happen in America too, like, that's crazy. That's just cowardly. You hate somebody that much that you'll take a cup of acid and throw it on them, knowing that that's going to disfigure them for the rest of their life. People like that deserve the absolute worst punishment possible, because they are the bottom of the barrel. They are scumbags. Straight up. And I just want to talk about this real quick. You know, those of you who are on the verge of like apartment hunting, or house hunting, right? Do your best to avoid places with an HOA. Please. Oh my gosh. I detest the HOA. Detest them. Any place that has them, avoid, please, because then they're going to complain about, oh yeah, we don't like your mailbox. You got to put a new mailbox there. Oh yeah, we don't like how tall your grass is. We don't like you planting a garden outside your house. You paying these motherfuckers $300, $400 a month, and they're going to complain about the stuff you do with your space that you pay your money for? Please avoid the HOA. I'm telling you, there was lawsuits down here in Florida of how the HOA was taking so much money. They was banking millions of dollars from the residents in certain neighborhoods. Luckily, a lawsuit came out. I do not like the HOA. If those of you who understand homeowners association, you know what I'm talking about. But those of you who don't understand and you on the verge of apartment hunting, please listen to the sound of my voice. Do not mess with an HOA. Imagine growing up in a toxic household and you have to deal with the HOA. So they're telling you can't have pets, you can't have this, you can't have that. We don't like you washing your car in front of your yard. Those kind of people need to go. Real talk. I'm not gonna say it in a hateful way, but I detest the HOA. I do not like. They are a useless organization. I'm trying to tell you. So those of you who are going through that, I feel sorry for you. But when your lease is up, find a way out of that place, man. Because the HOA is a big scam. Just like insurance is a big scam, HOA is a big scam, taxes is a big scam. For people to have to get up early in the morning to go to work just to pay for basic necessities like shelter, food, and water, that's a crime against humanity. That is a crime against humanity. And somebody got to be held accountable for it, So, listen, y'all. Those of you right now who are going through toxic households right now, you have to literally figure out a plan, figure out what it is that you need to do. I'm telling you, there's things called trades. There's trades out here you can get into, right? There's trades out here you can get into. Try that. You don't have to go through college for 4 or 5 years just to hope you can get a career. There's no prestige in going to Howard. There's no prestige in going to Yale. That doesn't matter. There's people out there that have been to these colleges and still ain't working the stuff that they studied. Look, I have an associate's degree in aviation administration, and I haven't worked one day in that career field. Because most of the time, at least the area where I'm at, they ain't even hiring. And if they do hiring, they probably want me to be a coffee boy or something. Yeah, can you set up the laptops? Can you make us some coffee? and they want you to ask how much sugars you want, how much creamers you want, you know. So y'all, it's a crime against humanity for people to design a system where we have to wake up early in the morning, leave our children at some school under the care of some strangers, to work for little to nothing, right? And struggle to keep certain things going: food, water, shelter, you know. And in America right now, the many people who have been laid off is insane. It's insane, y'all. So imagine, you know, in 2024, a lot of people are struggling. A lot of people are going through a lot of things. You know, there's people out there that are going through tax issues. You know, certain industries are falling apart, and a lot of people are sleeping out of their cars because they just can't afford certain things. You know, what is it going to turn into? I don't know. I don't know. But it's looking pretty ugly, you know. But as far as chosen ones, just stand firm, stay grounded, push through day by day. You know, this is part of evolution. The universe is still in control. And if you're growing up in a toxic household, this is really for people who still live in that household. You have to have some dignity about yourself and stand up for what's right. Don't allow your family members to manipulate you and tell you you need to do this and pressure you to do that. You know, you need to have a plan. Gray rock these motherfuckers. Focus on you. And don't allow them to harness your energy. Don't have them ripping and running here, ripping and running there. You know. You know what I hate about most people? Especially in the workplace? If you are a person who has good potential and you like somebody with good work ethic, they're gonna look at you like, oh yeah, we can dump the workload on this person. So even your co-workers are gonna be asking you to do this, asking you to do that. They're not your boss. You have a job to do. You have one job to do. They're trying to make you do. The co-workers are trying to make you do their job on top of your job. That's how evil these motherfuckers is, man. But that's all right. They're gonna learn the hard way. They're gonna have a major ego death because they're gonna realize they're not as special as they think they are, thinking that they can manipulate and that it won't come back on them. Oh, it will. It will. They're gonna learn the hard way. But listen, y'all, I didn't want to keep y'all on here too long. You know, I discussed some topics that will be helpful to a lot of people's current circumstances. You know, if you live in a toxic household, plan, uh, have some dignity, stand up for yourself, and execute. Stand in your individuality. If you're looking for an apartment or a house, avoid the HOA, please. Avoid it, you know. And also, you know, we have to realize the criminal offenses that humanity's going through right now. Judgment has to be done, y'all. Judgment has to be done, you know. Listen, let me shout y'all out. Oh, Melanated in Nature. Good to see you. Money Up Gang. Okay, I see you. E-Baby, good to see you. Magenta, good to see you. And all those who caught the live, I hope y'all enjoyed the live. I just wanted to do a quick live and talk about a topic with you all. But y'all be safe out there, y'all. It's a hard time right now, especially if you're living in America. So just focus on surviving, focus on handling what you need to handle, and don't allow these motherfuckers to try to stumble you and get in your way, especially family, man. They wrong for that. All right? Listen, I love y'all. Y'all be safe out there. All right? Bye-bye now.